There have been many very high-profile and public cases recently of cars being hacked.
Okay, do it. Do it. Kill the engine.
So we're killing the engine right now.
Actually can't accelerate. Seriously, it's dangerous. I need to move.
We all carry computers in our pockets, and everyday machines like thermostats, refrigerators, cameras, and even our cars are connected online. Experts call this constant connection the Internet of Things. And just like everything else, it's susceptible to security breaches. The two big questions that I have: could autonomous vehicles be hacked to hurt us? And how can we be sure that the personal data that we produce in these cars are protected? The answers are still not perfectly clear.
The Internet of Things is going to have enormous benefits that I think we can't even begin to realize. The power of computerizing and networking our environment. But there are risks also. Here we are creating an internet that senses, thinks, and acts. And that is the classical definition of a robot. We're building a world-sized robot without even realizing it. What we know about computers and software is that they have bugs, they have vulnerabilities. All computer systems can be hacked. So you can easily imagine these attacks being used against cars to cause the car computer systems to crash, or cars being used as the attack vector against other systems. So as we build autonomous systems that affect the world in a direct physical manner, we risk bad actors doing it. We risk glitches and errors causing physical harm.
Using cars as weapons is unfortunately already a tactic used around the world.
That is video of a vehicle in Charlottesville, Virginia.
A pickup truck barreling down a busy bike and footpath for nearly a mile.
The good news is that perhaps far into the future, properly functioning autonomous cars won't allow humans to hit people. It could neutralize this tactic of terrorism. But if the cars can be controlled remotely or hacked and programmed to cause harm, it could bring on a whole new set of issues. To see what's being done to make these systems more secure, I visited a company that actually started out in the video game industry. NVIDIA now also makes the graphic processing chips that go into driverless cars.
We've developed an artificial intelligent brain for the car.
And how they build those chips will have major impacts on the safety of future driverless cars.
What we're building is a computer first, and then the car is built around it. And that computer is a secure system. We're taking solutions from the data center or from medical types of scenarios and building a lot of security into it. So things like authentication, encryption, something called virtualization, where we're able to partition parts of the computer system and keep them separate. We're essentially building a map of the world in real time based on what we sense. We had cameras, ultrasonic sensors, radars, LiDAR, which is a laser scanner, and each of those sensors are generating a massive amount of data.
Data collection is crucial for allowing these cars to function. But like security, it also raises questions about how the information gathered from our personal lives will be used. The new technology has the attention of privacy advocates like Lauren Smith at the Future of Privacy Forum in Washington, D.C., a group that explores issues with all sorts of home gadgets, like Amazon Echo's Alexa system, drones, even smart dolls.
Alexa, are you spying on me?
I only send audio back to Amazon when I hear you say the wake word.
And now, autonomous cars.
It's important that people start to think about their cars in the same way that they think about their computer or smartphone. So if you use a technology like this that relies on connectivity, that relies on data inputs and outputs, you are creating sort of an information trail. It's important to think about, what you input and whether you want that information to be collected. So often consumers won't understand how a technology works, and that is what can lead to fear. You know, all the articles now about cars, that your car is spying on you. But in reality, it's more complicated than that. Explaining what the data is used for, explaining what controls exist, and hopefully what greater controls will exist in the future. I think that is a big piece of it.
You know, data has good and bad uses. There's some very powerful reasons to collect data about us and our society and put it together so we can do research, we can better deliver services. Smart government is the wave of the future. But the same data can be used for surveillance, for control. I don't really think any government is prepared for the Internet of Things and what it's going to do. I mean, these are computers that affect the world in a direct physical manner. And there are risks to life and property. And largely, Western governments have taken a very hands-off view to regulation of the Internet, the United States especially. And that worked great when it didn't matter. When it was data, when it was a spreadsheet, when it was conversation. But when it's a car, when it's a medical device, when it's an appliance, when it can actually do physical harm, that changes everything. When I think about the future, I'm excited and nervous. The promise is immense. That's why we're doing this. We're not being forced to. The Internet of Things will unlock all sorts of potential and applications and wonders. But like everything else we do, there are risks.